All right. People of the State of Michigan versus John Christian Wales, 2023560. Mr. Wales is on 7411 probation for a charge of possession of methamphetamine. He appears today by video with his attorney, Ms. Jackson, and his agent, Ms. Albert. And his agent has filed a 2-count petition alleging that he violated the terms of his probation. Ms. Jackson, you had an opportunity to talk with Mr. Wales regarding the violations.
I have, Your Honor.
What does he wish to do?
He wishes to go in and with the violation of admitting to count 1 and count 2 of the petition.
All right. Mr. Wales, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Now, has anyone promised you anything to get you to admit to the violations?
No, sir.
Anybody threaten you?
No, sir.
You doing this of your own free will?
Yes, sir.
All right. And so count 1 alleges a violation of condition 24. Well, they both allege the same violation. Possession of a weapon. You must not own, use, or have under your control or area of control a weapon of any type or any imitation of a weapon, and you must not be in the company of anyone who possesses those items. It says that on May 1st, you were found to be in possession of a Ruger Airhawk Elite break action .177 air-powered rifle, along with the BBs and pellets for the same. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
Count 2 is an allegation that you were in possession of a pocket knife also on May 1st, 2021. How do you plead to that?
Guilty.
And so what happened? How did this all happen?
I got pulled over and they seen the BB gun in the back of my truck. And yeah.
And then they found the knife in your pocket?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it was your truck?
I always have a knife on me. Usually I just the type that always has a knife for whatever reason. Not anything besides just cutting boxes or whatever, anything. You know, it's just something I've always had on me since I was a little kid as a pocket knife, you know.
Okay. And you remember meeting with your probation agent when you started your probation?
Yes, sir.
And they told you no weapons of any kind?
Yeah, it slipped my mind. It must have been, yeah, I understand.
I mean, you do admit they told you that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, because they do allow you to have tools for work if you need them for work. For example, a box cutter, something like that, but you don't get to walk around with a pocket knife anymore, or a BB gun.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So with that, I accept the admissions. What do you recommend?
Your Honor, Mr. Wales was placed on probation just on April 9th of this year. So he's been on probation less than a month. When he was pulled over, it was around midnight. So I'm unsure of what he was doing out and about at midnight with a pocket knife and with an air gun in plain sight. I would ask that the court impose a curfew condition for Mr. Wales, that he be required to be in his approved residence from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. I would also ask the court continue his probation and sentence him to 10 days jail with credit for 3 days served.
All right. What did he get stopped for?
It appears as if he was turning on a dead-end road and maybe traveling a little too fast, and so the officer followed him, and then the officer initiated a stop once he turned his lights off.
Oh, he turned his lights off?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So no citations, is that correct?
It is my understanding he did not receive any citations.
All right. Ms. Jackson, what do you have to add? You'll get your chance, Mr. Wales. We'll come to you next.
Okay. Okay, fine.
In
Ms.
talking
Jackson?
with, yes, in talking with Mr. Wales, he accepts the fact that he's going to face some possible jail time, but he is requesting, if possible, that jail time be served on weekends, that he does have a job with a trucking company in Elkhart or in Indiana, I'm not sure which city, that he's held since October 2020. And he makes really good money, he says, and he really would obviously hate to lose that job given this current situation of the world and such.
Okay.
That he understands that he could get anything from the recommendation of the agent to something more severe from the court, but this is the request, and this is what we're asking the court to consider.
Ms. Albert, were you aware of this job in Indiana?
He's being supervised by Agent Schmidt, but the case notes do indicate that he is working at Health Trucking. His boss did call me today, just wanting specific information as to how long he would be in jail, and indicated to me that he was going to attempt to hold this job for him until he could be released from jail.
All right, Mr. Wales, first off, the question is, what were you doing out that late at night?
I was on my way back to my camper. That's where I was when I turned my lights off, was at my camper, and I was getting home till I go to work the next day. I just got home, and yeah.
Yeah, but what were you doing out that late at night?
I was at my girlfriend's house, and I fell asleep at my girlfriend's house, and then I woke up, and then drove to where my camper is in White Pigeon, and that's when I got pulled over.
All right. So he wasn't under the influence of anything? They didn't find anything in the vehicle other than the BB gun and the knife, the pocket knife?
According to the police report, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you just started probation, Mr. Wales. What else would you like me to know?
That I'm really sorry about this, and I take full responsibility. And like I say, I just don't want to lose my job, and I need to make it work, make it to work.
Okay.
If I could do my jail time on the weekend, I would greatly appreciate that.
Why did you have the BB gun in the truck?
The BB gun, I have no excuses for it. It's been there since I can't remember. I just had the BB gun in my truck.
All right, well, let's talk about that.
I
mean, you had the talk with your agent about what you can and can't have, and they're usually pretty thorough about that. So it's extremely important that you go through your camper and your car and everything else and get rid of everything that you can't have anything in possession of. So let's call this just a simple mistake. The officer didn't find you doing anything other than driving down the road to your camper, apparently, and pulling in.
Yep.
So I'm not going to order a change to the to curfew. I don't find that there's a reason for that. He wasn't doing anything other than going home after visiting his girlfriend. He works. The possession of the pocket knife, you should have been, if you had a question about it, you should have asked your agent, and she'd have told you no. And the BB gun, so again, realize you're on probation, you can't have any of these things, get rid of them. And so 3 days credit, 3 days served, and that's the extent of it. So first technical violation, Mr. Wales. So be careful, and you can go and go back to work and just be more careful. When you want him to report to his agent?
Thank you very much, sir.
He'll need to report to me when he's released from jail, but he's going to need my contact information. So I'll call the jail and provide that.
All right, good, good.